again!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the
Hi, you're
middle.
watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Right, on the show today, reports have emerged of the ODI World Cup 2027 not featuring India's top two stars Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Many former cricketers have come down hard on the two superstars with what should be the way forward. Should the board and management bow down to legacy here or take a call keeping the future of Indian cricket in mind? Indian commentator Sunil Gavaskar has lashed out at England for not keeping their end of the deal. He's livid at the way the series was concluded without the presence of the two legends the Patauti Trophy had been rebranded with. What is his criticism and does it hold any ground? And India's top player R. Pragyananda has said he's felt insecure about his rivals such as Gukesh and Arjun Erigesi, a massive revelation in itself. But does that fuel the rivalry and India's rise, or will it prove to be a detriment? But first, Sports 360. Starting with chess, World Cup winner Divya Deshmukh continues her dominant run. The Indian Grandmaster has entered the quarterfinals of the Women's Speed Chess Championship after beating N18G 10-3. Divya will take on three-time world champion Ho Yifan for a place in the semi-finals. We'll stay with chess. 10-year-old British player Bodhana Sivanandan stunned the chess world when she defeated Grandmaster Peter Wells in the last round of the British Chess Championships. She is the youngest ever female player to beat a Grandmaster. Bodhana passed Carissa Yip, who set the record back in 2019 by 6 months. On to cricket, Canada's under-19 side set a unique record when they beat Argentina by 10 wickets in less than an over. During the under-19 ODI World Cup qualifier, Argentina were bowled out for 23 runs alone. 7 batters were dismissed for 0 and not a single player reached a double-digit figure. Jagmandeep Paul picked up 6 wickets. In response, Yuvraj Samra hit 2 sixes and 2 fours to chase down the target in 5 deliveries. In tennis, the Cincinnati Masters, Yannick Sinner cruised past Gabriel Diallo in straight sets, while the Italian registered an easy win. The match was interrupted by a fire alarm. The break lasted a few minutes in the second set, but the noise and the flashing lights continued for 4 points. Over in the women's draw, Arina Sabalenka edged past Emma Raducanu in the round of 32 encounter in a grueling 3-setter. Sabalenka held her nerve to beat the Briton 7-6, 4-6, 7-6. On to boxing, Japanese Federation will hold an emergency meeting to address the death of 2 players. The country faces intense scrutiny after Shigetoshi Kotari and Hiromasa Urakawa passed away post-brain surgeries. The duo had suffered injuries during their bouts just before. Japanese boxing has already reduced all title bouts down to 10 rounds from 12. And summing it up with football, the Spanish Football Federation has approved Villarreal's decision to host Barcelona in Miami later this year. The federation will now seek approval from FIFA and UEFA. If those come through, the match will be played at the Hard Rock Stadium in December. Staging a match abroad has been part of La Liga's goal of promoting the league. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma may not be playing international cricket now, but seems like the internet and the media cannot let the two be. After exiting the test arena, days apart from each other, fresh reports are emerging now casting doubts over their participation in the ODI World Cup that's to take place in 2027. Still a couple of years to go. So what is the buzz about, and is this all a fair game when it concerns these two? Should they have a say at all in the final call? These are serious question marks on, there have been of course serious question marks on Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma's future in international cricket, considering it's just one format now, one-day international. Reports came out of BCCI mulling over their inclusion in the ODI World Cup. Our first response is, what's the hurry? It's still some years to go for the 2027 World Cup. There is another World Cup that's coming up before that, the T20 World Cup. So shouldn't all focus be directed towards that first? That's what is the immediate concern here. Second, why club the two greats together? Shouldn't the more imperative criteria be form and fitness? The two players will feature. They will be part of the IPL, the Indian Premier League, and in the lead up to the World Cup, there will be those bilateral ODI fixtures, those marquee clashes, as is the case ahead of any ICC tournament. So countries can prepare and warm up as they lead up to the big event, get their combinations and playing 11s ready. So maybe then, at that point, the decision makers can see whether both of these players warrant spots in India's playing 11, or just one. No other determinator or parameter needs to be taken into account than that, isn't it?
If they do well, they should continue. Kohli's one-day record is phenomenal. Even Rohit Sharma's. Both of them are phenomenal in white ball cricket.
Whoever plays well should continue to be given a chance. Even so, if either or both truly feel that they can still deliver and that their experience and stature is key to India's campaign at the World Cup, despite the numbers, should that even be considered? After all, technically, on paper, these two players have been able to put a full stop to different phases of their career, different parts of their career when the time came. Both stepped aside from Test cricket when they felt it was the right time to go. Rohit Sharma dropped himself from the last test against Australia some months ago. Virat Kohli stepped away from captaincy. So we've seen them take those tough decisions and stand by it. So if they insist they are good for one last whirl on the international stage, should the board deny them that opportunity? There is, of course, another school of thought that they should play more cricket. Hence, get your eye in during the domestic circuit.
If you are playing just 6 ODIs in a year, then there are just 6 days of game time for you. How will you stay motivated? How will you prepare? How will you stay fit and stay in the best shape?
Now, we've heard this argument before, and exactly about India's superstars, not just Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. We've heard Ravi Shastri and Sunil Gavaskar admonish some of these top cricketers for not making the occasional extremely rare appearances that they do for their state sides. The BCCI and the cricket fraternity in India, the strongest voices when it comes to the sport, want the domestic structure to flourish, be taken seriously and paid attention to. So in that regard, there has always been this extra push for India's top cricketers to still value this system, give it back and what it has given them. That's why we saw all the Rishabh Pants and the KL Rahuls, the Shubman Gills turning up for domestic duty earlier this year. The biggest splash, of course, was made by Virat Kohli playing a Ranji game in Delhi. So here's the follow-up question. Should Virat and Rohit be given some say in the ultimate call of featuring them in the 2027 ODI World Cup, whether they get enough match practice or not? After all, their legacy can demand it, isn't it? Or should we finally put an end to acquiescing and listening to seniors and only let form, numbers and statistics have the final word? Is that not what the BCCI diktat was all about? The one that came out after India's loss to Australia in the Test series. No more superstardom acts in the dressing room. Everyone was equal. So if certain players are going to be dropped and picked basis, form and fitness, then that should be a blanket criteria for all, stature included. Will that be the tune the administrators and the management will sing in the years to come? India and England played out a classic in the inaugural Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy, a series worthy of the two icons whose names it carried. But that very name created controversy right from the time it was rebranded. And it's the England Cricket Board taking the heat. Sunil Gavaskar has accused them of disrespecting not one, not two, but 4 legends of the game. It, of course, all began even before the first ball was bowled. Since 2007, India's tours of England were played for the Pataudi Trophy. But this year, the ECB scrapped it, rebranding the contest as the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy to connect with the modern era. The backlash from the Indian cricket fraternity was immediate. Then came the second flashpoint, Anderson's name being placed ahead of Tendulkar's before his name. And the reason for the outrage, Sachin Tendulkar isn't just an Indian icon, he's the greatest cricketer to have graced the sport. Sure, Anderson is a legend too, but Tendulkar is a class apart.
It is jarring to know that Anderson's name comes first. Not only is Sachin Tendulkar the greatest Indian cricketer, but also senior to Anderson by more than a dozen years. He is numero uno.
And it wasn't just Gavaskar saying this, even Anderson felt awkward about sharing the billing.
I feel completely out of place when I see myself alongside him with the trophy. As I said, I hold him in such high regard.
And then came the final insult. After a thrilling last match finish, India winning by just 6 runs to draw the series 2-all. The trophy was shared, but neither Tendulkar nor Anderson were there to present it. Both were reportedly in England, but absent.
This was the first ever series named after Sachin Tendulkar and Jimmy Anderson. One would have expected both to be present to give the trophy. Were they simply not invited?
Gavaskar knows the feeling. Earlier this year, he wasn't invited to present the Border Gavaskar Trophy either. The Australian board felt since the Aussies won the trophy, it would be apt for Alan Border to hand over the winning trophy without his counterpart. But that wasn't an inaugural edition. It was still a different case. This was a drawn series. Shouldn't the two have been present to appreciate a perfect test battle? And if that wasn't enough, Gavaskar went after the Pataudi medal, a face-saving device introduced by the ECB after retiring the name, the Pataudi Trophy. The medal was to be given to the winning captain, but with the series drawn, nobody got one.
The drawn series showed how silly this idea was of trying to make up to the Pataudis by retiring the trophy named after them. Wouldn't it be better to have the medal for the man of the series?
So much for keeping a legacy alive. It's not the first drawn series either. The 2021-22 contest also ended on the scores being level. So why hasn't the ECB thought this through? England loves to call itself the guardian of cricket's traditions. Their players lecture on the spirit of the game. Their captain Ben Stokes bristled when Ravindra Jadeja turned down his handshake before a milestone. But when it comes to leading by example, the ECB's own spirit seems missing in action. If you want to be the self-appointed custodians of cricket, then start within. Start at your home, because right now the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy has done more to spark controversy than to celebrate greatness. And maybe before the next series, England cricket needs to decide, are they here to honour history or to keep rewriting it? Indian chess is living its golden age. World champions in the men's game, world beaters in women's chess, Olympiad goals in both men's and women's categories, and the rivalry at the top fiercer than ever. But with dominance comes something else too: jealousy, insecurity, the pressure. Even India's brightest stars aren't immune. Pragyananda, India's #1 and world #4, openly admits he once felt the heat from his compatriots' meteoric rise. That he was insecure. The big question, does this fuel India's rise or only cause more friction? Now, every athlete dreams of reaching the top, but there's only room for one up there. And in Indian chess right now, the talent pool is overflowing. Pragyananda burst onto the limelight first, reaching the 2023 World Cup final, carrying India's hopes. But within a year, you saw Gukesh becoming world champion. And then, of course, in early 2025, Arjun Irigesi claimed the #1 spot. For Pragyananda, it stunk.
Players from my generation, whenever they were doing, it was putting some pressure on me. Let's say Gukesh or Arjun, when they do well, I feel like I can do it as well. Not right now, but I guess in the past, it made me insecure.
In team sports, rivalry is natural. Two players fighting for one spot. In Formula One, it is more evident. We saw that with teammates Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso while in McLaren. Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost, none of these stars ever accepted it. But it was there for everyone to see. For years, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo were seen as fierce competitors. There is a fan base that doesn't seem to agree with each other. In individual sport, it gets more personal. You're not just competing for trophies, you're competing for your place in history. For any athlete to admit jealousy or insecurity at some point of time in their careers is unheard of. So when Pragyananda came out with these sentiments, it was a big deal. But here's where Pragyananda stands out. He turned that insecurity into motivation.
I didn't have a great year while Gukesh won the World Championship. Arjun crossed 2800. I was seeing their games so closely, it inspired me. I think that's one of the reasons I feel that extra energy I have when I play games nowadays.
And it's not just words, he backed it up with results. When Gukesh was crowned champion, Pragyananda was among the first to congratulate him, online and in person. Because in this new era of Indian chess, rivals aren't tearing each other down, they're pushing each other up to go one better. The result? Pragyananda stormed back, winning the Tata Masters this year, defeating Gukesh in a nail-biting final, back to India's #1 spot, back in the headlines. So while the rivalry is getting just more intense, it is pushing the others to perform better as well.
It'll motivate them to try much harder. I've seen this a lot in Waka. I mean, Gukesh has been in Waka, Prag is there, and all of them, one of them has a success, it motivates the other positively. They continue to remain friends, but they're friends and rivals at the same time.
That's the magic of Indian chess right now. It's not survival of the fittest, it's a pack of young lions all hunting for the same crown and making each other sharper in the process. This is why Indian chess dominance isn't a flash in the pan, it's a storm that's just begun. The rivalries are intense, the respect is mutual. And every time one player climbs higher, the other doesn't pull them down, they chase them. It's not one champion, it's an army of them. And in this golden era, the only real loser is the rest of the chess world, because India is rising and doing so collectively. Time for last serve. New England Patriots honoured their biggest superstar, Tom Brady, by unveiling a statue taller than the quarterback himself. A 12-foot masterpiece crafted from bronze paid a fitting tribute to the silverware Brady brought for the club. Fans, though, have a simple question for the Patriots. Is the head smaller than the rest of the body? Take a look.
3, 2, 1.
Not every day you get a statue, at least not one like this. Seeing myself as a statue isn't something I could have imagined growing up. When I was drafted, I just hoped to make the team.
That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.